Hello, this is Berhain Selassie, the Orthodox Catholic one here on YouTube, and today's video will be about the Jehovah's Witnesses, specifically their New World Translation of the Bible, which most people don't recognize as being of much value, but nonetheless, at the end of the Bible, they actually, in the appendix, they have a Bible topics page, and this is my criticism of it. In blue will be my comments, and black will be the comments of the Jehovah's Witnesses. To be exact, this is from the New World Translation of the Holy Scriptures, 1984, reprinted in 2006, from the section at the back called Bible Topics for Discussion. It's on page 1652 and on. So anyway, one of the first thing they mention is Ancestor Worship. Ancestors are dead, unconscious, and they quote Ecclesiastes 9:5 and verse 10. This is very common of groups of similar and related groups like the Adventists. They also quote this as a proof text, but it's particularly fond and commonly used by the Jehovah's Witnesses. So here's what the New World Translation says. For the living know that they will die, but the dead know nothing at all, nor do they have any more reward, because all memory of them is forgotten. The Jehovah's Witnesses and groups that share the ancestry of the Jehovah's Witnesses like to point this to prove that the dead are unconscious. This is called the doctrine of soul sleep, commonly. However, they typically quote the verse as simply, the dead know nothing. However, just before it says, the living know that they will die. This is the knowledge spoken about. The living know that they will die. And because of this, they have some form of reward, or perhaps they could even repent if needed. But the dead, however, since they're already dead, their fate is sealed, and there's nothing they can do to change that. It's locked, sealed. There's nothing at all they could do. Nothing that they can do to prevent future fate. There's no further death after your death. There's the second death, but pretty much you already have that second death if you died in a state of sin, a rebellion against God. So anyway, I'm going to quote a Jewish commentator, a rabbinical Jew, someone who's not Christian, not biased in the sense of being an anti-Jehovah's Witness, because this person actually was several centuries before the Watchtower and was not even Christian. Anyway, his commentaries are found in Chabad. He was a French Jew around, I think, the 13th century. But anyway, this is his comment. He quotes the verse as saying, "For the living know that they will die." And then he says, "And perhaps their hearts will return on the day of death, and they will repent of their ways. But after they die, they do not know anything, and they have no more reward for their actions that they do from their deaths and onward. For whoever toils on the eve of the Sabbath will eat on the Sabbath." So it's just this view. You have to get ready, because once the day comes, there's no longer preparation. You have to prepare, but once it's too late, there's nothing you can do to change it. Now for verse 10 that they also like to quote. It's interesting because the book of Ecclesiastes was one of those books that was almost not accepted in the Bible because of its strange doctrine. It was considered to be part of a condemned Greek philosophy at the time. I think it was Epicureanism. But some of the rabbis rejected it, and the New Testament never actually explicitly quotes it. They might somewhat allude to it, but that's debated. But anyway, now for verse 10 of the New World Translation that they use as a proof text. "Whatever your hands find to do, do with all your might, for there is no work, nor planning, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave where you are going." Now, again, it's simply telling people to work now, since there's nothing that they can do once they're dead, and now that during life they can do works pleasing to God, like verse 7 says. "Go eat your food with rejoicing, and drink your wine with a cheerful heart, for already the true God has found pleasure in your works." Now again, I'm going to quote that Jewish commentator Rashi, which stands for Rabbi Shlomo Yitzchak. It says, "For there is neither deed, etc. in the grave." And he says, "For your merit after you die, and if you did so, you have no reckoning in the grave to worry about." The verse is transposed to be explained, "For there is neither deed, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave for the wicked." So it's understood about for the wicked, "nor reckoning for the righteous. For the wicked give their accounting," so it is expounded in the Midrash, which is not sure what she's referring to. "And one who interprets it without transposing it according to its apparent meaning interprets cheshavon as an expression of thought, what he can do to free himself from judgment. Furthermore, the Witch of Endor incident found in King Saul, in King Saul, is evidence always used against the soul sleepers, such as the Jehovah's Witnesses, because the sacred writer refers to the dead Samuel, the prophet Samuel, who Saul was trying to conjure up. Though typically soul sleepers want to say, "Oh, it was just a demon pretending to be Samuel." The fact is, the scriptures say it was Samuel, not anybody else. It was Samuel, so they have to put little quotation marks or make it appear otherwise. But there's nothing that would ever give that indication. All right, so going on. Actually, I'll make this a subject for our next video. I'm going to make a couple more videos on this, but the next one's going to be about baptism. Anyway, this is Brother Selassie, the Orthodox Catholic one, here on YouTube, and this was the first section on the Jehovah's Witnesses Bible topics discussions page. Anyway,